Everyone, I'm back. Sorry it's been a while. I've been a little under the weather, but I'm doing better and ready to get back to it. So today, in anticipation of Thanksgiving Day, I thought we could make some make-ahead dishes. Like today we'll be making biscuits. These biscuits are light, fluffy, and really big. And sometimes they get so big when they're baking they flop over. But they're just so good, so good. So let's get started. I have preheated my oven, or my oven is preheating to 425 degrees. In my bowl, I have 2¼ cups of flour. Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So put that in there, and I'm going to whisk everything up. All right, that's ready to go. Now I have 1/2 cup of butter, so 1 stick of butter, and it has to be cold. Everything needs to be cold. The milk, the butter, cold. So I have 1/2 cup of butter that I have cubed up, and I'm going to put that in there. Then I'm going to take my pastry cutter, one of these. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you can use 2 knives, you can use your hands, a fork, whatever you need. But these things are pretty handy, and they're not really that expensive. So I'm going to cut the butter, the cold butter, and it's hard, so it's going to take a bit. But there's nothing really difficult in this recipe at all, and very limited ingredients. 6 ingredients, so that's pretty good. And these biscuits are so much better than the ones you can buy in the store in the tins that you bake. You know what's in your biscuits. You know there's no chemicals in there, preservatives, whatever. That stuff is really not good for you, so we try to do without that. Get this all chopped up. You want to have little bits of butter remaining in your flour. When your biscuits are baking, the little bits of butter get warm, and then they'll kind of explode in the biscuits. That's what makes the layers, helps with to make all the flaky layers. And these biscuits are flaky. So incredibly good. Okay, that looks pretty good there. Still maybe a little bit more. I'm going to finish that off with my hands. Now at this point, after you get the butter and the flour incorporated, if you wanted to have flavored biscuits, you could certainly do that. You could put some baking powder, not baking powder, you could put some garlic powder, maybe about a teaspoon of garlic powder would be good in there, or a teaspoon or so of any kind of herbs you want. Rosemary, thyme, you can make chives, whatever flavor you like, you can add that in while you're doing this. So right now, I'm just going to make these plain today. And also, this is a great biscuit recipe for like sweet biscuits. 1 cup of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, which I never buy buttermilk, I make my own. So about a tablespoon of plain white vinegar in the bottom of your measuring cup, and then fill the rest up to be 1 cup of milk. Yeah, that's it. Pour that in there. Then with the rubber spatula, we're going to mix that up. It's going to be really wet and sticky, but that's what we want. Get everything mixed up in there. All right. Now, we're going to have to mix this with our hands. We don't want our hands to get all yucky, so I have a little bowl of flour here. I'm going to flour my hands. This is pretty wet and sticky, like I said, but that's what we want for now, because we're going to be adding a little more flour to it when we roll it out and stuff. All right. Just want to get this mixed up. You still will get stickiness on your fingers, but it's not a big deal really. It just comes off pretty quick. Want to make sure you get all the dry bits on the bottom of the bowl. Need that a little bit. Yeah, my hands are getting pretty sticky. That's all right. I'll tell you what, all those canned biscuits that you buy, that you just cook in the oven and open the can, they got nothing on these biscuits. Nothing. These are the best biscuits I've ever made. And they really are easy. All right, so that looks pretty good right there. We're going to put the flour on our little tray. Dump the biscuit mix out there. Make sure you get it all. Now we're going to knead this a little bit. And see, the stickiness is starting to go away. Clean off your fingers a little. All right, so now what we're going to do is push this into like a, I don't know, you can use any shape you want really. Rectangle, oblong, oval, whatever you want. Pat it out a little bit. Then we're going to fold the ends, the short ends, to the middle. And we're going to pat that back down. And we're going to do this 6 times. So that's 1. That's 2. This is what's going to make your layers nice and flaky. That's 3. We got 4. 5. 6. Now we're going to pat this out so we can cut them. Now this I make, I use about a 2-inch biscuit cutter or cookie cutter, whatever you want to call it. And it makes about 10 biscuits. This recipe can be doubled very easily. And if you want bigger biscuits for like a shortcake kind of a biscuit, you want something probably bigger than that. It'll make less, obviously. So that's all patted out. Now you want to dip your cookie cutter in the flour so it doesn't stick to the batter. Got one little biscuit. That's what that looks like. Very nice. It's going to be nice and flaky. Oh my, they're so good. Fresh out of the oven with butter and jam. And you have to repeatedly put your cookie cutter in the flour so it doesn't stick. You take your remaining dough, pat it back out, just keep doing the same thing. You want to try not to twist your cutter, because that'll make the biscuits all wanky. Not that they don't get wanky enough just on their own, but all right. So we have this tiny little bit left over. That's really not good for anything. So we have 3, 6, 9, 10 biscuits. All right. Now we're going to put those on our baking sheet. You don't need to grease it. There's plenty of butter in there. About an inch or so apart is fine. Get another one in there. All right. That looks pretty darn good right there. We're going to stick these in the oven 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. Just keep an eye on it. When they get nice and golden brown, they're ready. So let's put that in there. So I've taken my biscuits out of the oven. They've been in there about 16 minutes. So anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. That's good. This is what they look like. Nice, fluffy, big, fat biscuits. Some of them are lobbed over a little, but that's great. That's great. There's a lot of layers in there, nice and flaky. So a couple of notes. You can make these biscuits, make the dough for the biscuits, and then cut them out, and then freeze them before you cook them. Out of the freezer, pop them on your pan, and put them in the oven, frozen. And it takes no time at all to cook, and you have fresh biscuits anytime you want. Doesn't get any better. So let's have a little look at one of these biscuits. Nice and fluffy. Ooh, hot. Whoa, that is really hot. Layers of fluffiness. So good. Put a little butter on there. You can put butter. You can put butter and jam. Put whatever you want on it. If in addition to the herbs and that I was telling you about, if you want cheese, you can put shredded cheese in there. Whatever you want. It's just makes it so flavorful. Let's have a little bite. Oh my God, these are good. Really, really good biscuits. It doesn't get any easier than that. And they're fresh, homemade biscuits. 6 ingredients, piece of cake. I'll see you again soon.